Hey guys, just want to show you what I'm doing today. I'm going to start off with planting some asparagus. I got these at a local store, actually close to the end of season, so they were actually discounted cheaper than $4. And they're the Mary Washington variety of asparagus. There's approximately, I believe, 4 plants in each package. Come in a little bag, like so. And they've got shavings inside the bag to, they're actually rubber banded together, but I pulled the rubber band off. You can see these are the crowns here, and of course these are the dormant roots. Now these are 2-year-old, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, 2-year roots, which said they've already been growing for 2 years, and they're dormant now. And the thing about the asparagus is, if you see here, you see the spears coming up out of the ground, just below the crowns. Let me show you this here. As you can imagine, this would be what the ground level is, the top of the crown, but like the top of the crown of a strawberry, and the spears grow off of that. Of course, these roots are what you see here. When they're new plants and the spears first come up, they're very, very small. I mean, they're the size of like coffee straw sticks. They're really tiny, so it takes a few years of growing these to get them to the size where you can actually harvest and eat. Another thing about asparagus too is as it grows, and I've grown this in the past, and I've noticed they grow very fast. Now I would check daily on my asparagus plot, because once they start coming up, and if you let them get away from you, I mean, they'll start sprouting branches, and the very, very bottom lower part right here gets very woody and tough. So yeah, you really got to check on them and harvest them, and they're perennial. They'll come back for several years, and at the end of the fall, a lot of people like to let them grow up and make the ferns to help protect the roots during the winter, to let them get real thick. And of course you can also get the berries off of them and have yourself some seed if you want to keep growing more and more. So just remember that it takes a few years for each new plant to establish to the part where it's harvestable. Anyway, what I like to do now, one thing, since these were a little older and on clearance, you still check the roots. They're bendable. They're not dried out completely. They're not going to snap and break. Had a rhubarb plant the other day, bare root, just like this. Took it out of the package and bent the roots a little bit, and it just snapped and popped because it was just dried out completely. But I still like to soak them in water. I haven't got the row completely ready yet for where I'm going to plant them, so I'm going to let these soak up some water while I'm getting that prepared, and that'll help them get a head start and wake them up, so to speak, I guess. And I'll come back in a little while and plant these out. One thing I want to show you now, even though I'll have to show you this as I plant them if I do that. When you plant the crowns, you dig a deep trench and you spread these roots out. Some people like to say spread them out to where they're almost flat and this crown stands up, but you don't plant them like this. Spread these roots out as best you can. A lot of people will make dig a trench and then mound up a little piece, like a little pyramid, and they'll take and spread these roots out over that, and then fill it in. So I just want you to keep that in mind if you're going to plant some asparagus, because it's a little different than anything else, but just knowing that helps. But let them get soaking here, and I'll show you what they look like after I plant them. Okay, I hope you can see this pretty well. I've got a trench dug here. I've got my first asparagus root set in place. If you can see this, I've got the bottom of the trench is about down here where my hand is. I've got this mounded up somewhat, and I've got the roots spread out in all directions, kind of like sort of like a spider leg. I mean, it's just stretched out in every direction on this mound, or dome, if you will. And that's really how you're supposed to plant them. From there, you just cover up the roots like so, and just wanted to give you that pointer and let you see how I do it. And you cover it up a little bit. It says about a 6-inch trench, planted about 3 inches high. Barely cover the crown now, And when you see the growth appear, covered in the rest of 3 inches or so. And yeah, just wanted to let you see it. I'll continue on planting the rest of them in this trench here I got. Bad thing about this, my tiller's broken down, so I'm having to spade everything by shovel, and so I'm putting in a lot of potting mix with perlite. That's what I'm using as a good soil. Just did me a row of onions there. Just got planted some Parma onions, and but I'll be pulling those out this fall. But down here, this asparagus row will be at the very bottom. This is below where I've got all my peppers, cucumber trellis in the front. Got all these peppers back here behind it, and onions, and now I'm gonna have my asparagus at the very bottom, and it'll come back every year. So I want to give you a view of this, let you see how I plant the first one. You know, hope it helps, and until next time, see you later.